Pat, my apologies. Thanks for all of you for coming, and thanks to Michelle for hosting us. It's a glaring absence. I mean, we'd be a lot better if she were reading, but that's the breaks. And thanks to all the poets I get to read with, who are old friends. Ginger Andrews is a poet who's really a lot of fun. It's wonderful. She's down on the South Coast. She doesn't get up here very often. I just think her stuff is terrific. I think she's a lot of fun. I'd love to meet her. I mean, I'd go and clean latrines with her. I just think she's really got the spirit. Rolls-Royce dreams. Using Salal leaves for money, my youngest sister and I paid an older sister to taxi an abandoned car in our backyard. Our sister knew how to shift gears, turn smoothly with a hand signal, and make a perfect screeching stop sounds. We drove to the beach, to the market, to Sunday school, past our would-be boyfriends' houses, to any town, anywhere. We shopped for expensive clothes everywhere. Our sister would open our doors and say, "Meter's running, ladies, but take your time." We rode all over in that ugly green Hudson with its broken front windshield, springs poking through its back seat, blackberry vines growing through rusted floorboards with no wheels, no tires, taillights busted, headlights missing, and gas gauge on empty. Notice it's not the gas gauge, it's just gas gauge. Makes all the difference. Now, I don't know if you guys know a Hudson, and do you know the other great car that's part of the same company that had about as long a crown time? Studebaker. The one that was going forward and backward at the same time, if you looked at it. A great car, well ahead of its time. This is a poem of mine in the anthology. Playing down in Moriches Bay. Moriches Bay is in Moriches, Long Island. I didn't know what my brother meant when he said the sound of the explosion reached our town, and he still didn't know what had exploded when he and the other volunteers gathered uptown before dawn and drove west to Santa Moriches, to the bay, where wreckage of a huge plane sprawled across the night gray waters. Volunteers waded into the shallow bay, my brother said, formed lines, held both hands out to the man in front of them, bending over at the waist, their elbows dipping into the water. What was passed to each man passed on. A piece of fuselage, a piece of corpse, a broken lobster pot, long on the bottom. They stepped gently, all the volunteers said so. Some said there was too much debris in the water for the people's souls to rise off the bay. What helped, the volunteers said, was to take deep breaths and let them out slowly across the water. A couple of young guys said they felt souls in the water. They were led back to shore. Now and then, the volunteers in the lines looked out across the bay to the inlet and out to the ocean where the sun was coming up, but not for long, for fear of not being ready when the man in front of them turned to them with something in his arms. Thank you.